Hi, everybody. Today we're going to think about a very special word. But before we get to there, I want you to think of a trip you took recently. It could be something crazy, like a trip to Niagara Falls, or maybe a trip to Disney World, or it could be a trip that was just a weekend thing, like maybe you went camping, or maybe you went to go visit your grandma who lives in another state. Your trip could also be something really simple, like a trip to the store, or a trip to go out to eat. So I want you to think about who went on that trip with you. Where did you go? What things did you see there? And how were you feeling? Go ahead and pause the video and write down the answers to those questions. All right, we're going to read this story. How can we describe all of those words that you just wrote down? I'll bet you could describe them as nouns. So we're going to read a story here. It's called Chicken in the City. So what do you predict this is going to be about based on the cover? What people, places, and things, even feelings, do you think Lulu will have on her trip? That's the chicken's name. All right, as I read, I want you to think, and when you hear a singular noun, that's a person, place, or thing, or feeling, that is one thing, person, place, or feeling, you can write that down in one column. Maybe you want to make a T-chart, just like this. And one side you can put singular, and the other you can put plural, kind of like this. And on one side you can put all the singular ones. Remember, that's just one. And plural on the other side, that's two or more. Just like that. So as I read the story, I want you to keep track of that and go ahead and write them down. You might not get them all, and that's okay, but get as many as you can. Chicken in the city. All right. Lulu, the chicken, lived on a farm. But life in the country was losing its charm. Day after day, Lulu saw the same faces. She saw the same things. She saw the same places. So nouns are words that name people, animals, places, and things. Go ahead and look at this picture. Which ones are people and animals? Which ones are name places? And which ones name things? Oh, now we can see right side. Okay, perfect. So, Lulu said to herself, I need something new. I'll move to the city, that's what I'll do. So she packed up her suitcase one day in the spring, and off Lulu went with a wave of her wing. Remember to write down those plural and singular nouns, and you can pause the video at any time. In the city, Lulu saw new things galore. So this page shows a lot of nouns that name things. Quick, look around your own room. How many naming nouns can you list in 2 minutes? Go ahead and set yourself a timer for 2 minutes. Pause this video and see how many you can list. She visited places she had never been before. So this page shows a lot of different places. Can you think of 10 or more nouns that name places that you might visit? So on this page, we have a cafe, a museum, a zoo, an amusement park, a fire station, and a planetarium. Think of some words of places that you can think of. Go ahead and pause and make yourself a list of 10. All right, welcome back. She saw lots of new people and animals too. Even some of Lulu's feelings were new. This page shows a lot of nouns that name people and animals. Can you think of nouns from A to Z that name people or animals? So for example, A is for acrobat, B is for bug, C is for cat, and so on. See if you can do it. You can pause the video and write the letters A to Z and see if you can come up with a person or a animal that starts with that letter. She felt delight and excitement, wonder and awe at each new astonishing sight that she saw. But there was one other feeling Lulu also detected, a feeling this chicken hadn't expected. Loneliness. She missed her friends on the farm. Now life in the city was losing its charm. So some nouns name things that you can't see or touch, like feelings or ideas. Delight, excitement, wonder, awe, loneliness, life, and charm are all nouns. Can you think of any other nouns that name feelings or ideas? See if you can write down at least 3. I guess I'm just a country chicken at heart, Lulu said to herself as she prepared to depart. She repacked her bags and caught the next bus back home so she wouldn't have to spend all her days alone. At the farm, Lulu's friends held a big celebration and welcomed her back without hesitation. Lulu was happy to see all the old faces, all the old things, and all the old places. Look at this picture. How many nouns can you name? Remember, animals, people, places, and things are all nouns. Can you come up with 15 or maybe 25? Maybe more? Go ahead and make a list. You can pause the video and see how many nouns you can come up with based off this picture. And she said to herself that night in her nest, new can be nice, but old is the best. All right, so when we think about nouns, it says, let's review. A noun is a word that is a person, place, or thing. We also learned that it could be a feeling or an idea. So some nouns that name general people, animals, places, and things could be police officer, chicken, city, suitcase. A noun could be specific like Lulu. This type of noun always begins with a capital letter and is called a proper noun. The type, like we talked before, the general ones, those are called common nouns. Some nouns name things that you can't really see or hear, smell, taste, or touch. Excitement, charm, and life are all nouns that name those feelings and ideas. How do you know if a word's a noun? Well, try putting an a, an, or the in front of the word and using it in a sentence. Does it make sense? Like, the chicken lived on a farm. Makes sense. Chicken and farm are both nouns. Listen again. I can put a or the in front of them, and it makes sense. The chicken lived on a farm makes sense. All right, nice job, guys. Go ahead and take a look at that list. What peoples, places, and things might Lulu have seen in your neighborhood? Go ahead and write down a list of things in your neighborhood that Lulu might have seen if she came and visited off the farm. All right. Let's take a look at some specific things. So you'll notice in the noun slideshow that there's a video here for you to watch. I'll let you do that on your own. But nouns are people, places, things, or ideas. So we have this pig is a thing, as well as so is the fans, right? The little spinners that he's got. You also have the beast, right? You have a book. You have a place here with some electrical wires. And you have a human being. Let's look at 2 different types. We have common and we have proper nouns, which we were talking about earlier. Common nouns are general, like that baby that is having some strong reactions to that drink, or those dogs that are at the park. You also have just candy, right? It's showing a bunch of different types of candy. But proper nouns are specific, like Twizzlers, Kit Kat, Hershey's. A place like Cleveland or Edgewater Beach. Or a proper noun like a person, like LeBron James. Those would all use capital letters and are proper nouns. We have another type of noun. One is called collective and the other is called plural. So collective nouns are those that refer to a set or a group of people, places, animals, or things. They usually have a special name. For example, a bowl of rice. Or we have an audience that are clapping. The sheep are in a herd, right? The herd of sheep are following the shepherd. But plural nouns is just more than one person, place, thing, or idea. Usually those are ones where you're going to add S or ES. So what do you call a pile of cats? A meowton. It's funny. Okay. But we'd have cats, right? More than one cat is cats. More than one city is cities, like in the map. Or more than one person watching a sports game might be called the crowd. More than one person playing basketball might be called a team. So plural nouns don't always have to have an S or ES at the end, but they can, like basketball players, right? They have an S at the end of players. We also have possessive nouns. So nouns that have or own something, like Squidward's bed. That would be the bed that belongs to Squidward. Or the cat's phone. We have a cat that's looking at its phone. Or Tony Hawk's helmet. You can see that with possessive nouns, it can belong to someone specific, like Squidward or Tony Hawk, or it can be general, like cat or person. We also have abstract and concrete nouns. So concrete nouns are things that physically exist. You can pick them up. I can pick up this book, right? I can pick up this remote. I can see this pen. I can see the posters behind me or the gerbil cage. But an abstract noun are ideas, qualities, conditions that don't actually exist. Something like anger, you can see here, or friendship, the friendship between Patrick and SpongeBob. Did you notice how I said the friendship between? I was able to be able to test if it was a noun by putting that plus or that the or a in front of it. Concrete nouns back here, we can see a bunch of bananas. We can see students, or we can see papers. The last two activities you have to do is to be a noun detective. Can you find the 16 nouns in this paragraph? You'll underline each noun you see by highlighting the words and clicking the U. So if I start, I can say a farm can be a very boring place for a chicken. Well, I know a chicken is a noun, so I can highlight, double clicking, and I can click the underline button. See? The underline. And now it's underlined. And now I just need to find 15 more. You'll know you have them all when you found 15. Remember, if you're not sure, use the a or the trick. Finally, name that noun. So nouns can name people, places, animals, things, ideas, and feelings. You're going to read a little section, and I want you to bold all the ones that name people or animals. You're going to underline all the nouns that name places, italicize the ones that name places, underline the things that name things, and highlight yellow the nouns that name ideas and feelings. So remember, when we want to bold, we can press this B. When we want to italicize, we can press the I. When we want to underline, we can press the U with the underline under it. And when we want to highlight yellow, we click to highlight the section we want to highlight, and then we go to this thing that looks like a little highlighter, and then you can click the color, like yellow. So you'll see here there are 7 sentences, and you're going to go through and do what you need to. I would even maybe go back and forth between these two slides. And for example, read all the sentences and find all the bolded animals or people. So for example, Lulu the chicken, oh, chicken, make it bold. And go through all the sentences. Or you could write down these things on a sheet of paper so that when you're working here, you'd be able to see both at the save time. I hope you understood about nouns, and if not, make sure that you ask some questions and turn in this assignment when you're done. If you're looking to try and do something a little extra, you can play a game of categories. That's when you make a chart, you name, you write down on the side, people, or at the top, animals, food, places, and feelings. It might look a little like this. Then what you'll do is you'll pick a couple of random letters. Maybe the letter K, the letter T, maybe the letter P. All right. And then what you'll do is you'll set a timer for 5 minutes and you can play against somebody and see, can you come up with something that starts with the letter K for all of these? Can you come up with a T word that goes with all of these? And how about a word that starts with P? And you can do it with any letter. If you start getting really good at 3 words, you could start with 3 letters, you can try playing with 4. So an example, an animal that starts with a T might be a tiger. And one that starts with a K is kangaroo. And so on. And see if you can finish in 5 minutes. All right, thanks for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed Chicken in the City.